Isshiki Otsustuki, an alien that's over 1,000 years old, versus Kenpachi Zaraki, a fearsome warrior known for his power. The forms I'll be using for these characters will be 1,000-year blood war Kenpachi versus Isshiki before he fought Naruto. And chakra and spectral pressure will be equalized. Also watch till the end because I might do a bonus matchup between Prime Isshiki and light novel Kenpachi. Right from the beginning, Kenpachi had crazy power. Even as a child, Kenpachi had surpassed characters like Unohana, and over time he became much more powerful. A good demonstration of his power was when he caught Gremmy's giant meteor while still having his eye patch on. Later on in the fight, Kenpachi got sent to outer space by Gremmy, which contained many stars and a galaxy. And Kenpachi somehow caught the space and came back. Now this is a pretty debatable feat and a lot of people interpret it differently, but I personally don't think he scales to galaxy. Mainly because it's not consistent. But when he was fighting Gremmy, everyone was freaking out about a meteor. B in particular was freaking out, and B was able to take out the Bambis who were destroying a weakened Kenpachi. So it would just be more consistent to not have Kenpachi at galaxy level. And Kenpachi's sword also allows him to cut through anything, which would be more of a hacks thing. You can decide how you interpret that. It would just be more consistent to put Kenpachi at large planetary level because the meteor he destroyed is calculated to be around small planetary level. And Kenpachi later adapts and gets way stronger while fighting Gremmy. He also gets a 10 times amp with his Bankai, which should put him at large planetary. He could scale higher of course, but large planetary is just more consistent. Kenpachi in terms of speed should be at least FTL, as characters previously in the show performed light speed feats. Lil Toro dodged Ashwelin, and Kenpachi should be faster and even faster with his 10 times Bankai amp. So Kenpachi should be at least FTL plus. Isshiki Otsustuki right from the start was a menace. On his debut, he killed Kashi and Koji while hardly trying. Isshiki far surpassed characters like Naruto, Sasuke, and even Momoshiki. Kaguya, who has been greatly surpassed by most Boruto top tiers, had created a dimension that had a star and a moon in it. So Kaguya should be at least star level. And Isshiki, as we know, far outskills characters like Kaguya. And Naruto is someone who one-shot Tsuneri in base. And Tsuneri was stated to be stronger than Kaguya. And considering that Isshiki is stronger than Naruto in the last by quite a bit, he should be at bare minimum large star level. Isshiki's speed should be around the ranges of FTL plus, and we can use Naruto to help skill Isshiki. When Naruto was fighting the 4th Raikage, he moved at the speed of light while dodging his attacks, and the 4th Raikage was stated to be almost the speed of light, and he was only in his KCM2 form. He later gets even faster after the Sage of Six Paths form as he gets more chakra. He even dodged a light speed attack at point blank from Madara. Naruto in the war should be at least a few times FTL. Naruto later as an adult got many times faster as he got more chakra. And when Isshiki was introduced, Naruto had a hard time keeping up, so Isshiki should be at least FTL plus as well. They're directly relative if not the same as their AP due to Newton's third law. Now before we get into who actually wins, we need to briefly discuss their hacks, because hacks can be the determining factor to who wins or loses a fight. In this case, both characters have quite powerful hacks. Kenpachi's Shika literally allows them to basically cut through anything, which would mean that he can Durneg Isshiki if he lands a hit. Isshiki on the other hand has things like his Dojutsu, which basically allows him to shrink anything that's non-living and stored in his dimension. And he can also bring back the stored things in his dimension. Now with all that out of the way, who actually wins in a fight, Isshiki Otsustuki or Kenpachi Zaraki? Personally, I believe Isshiki wins, and before you start commenting, let me explain. Isshiki is capable of not only shrinking non-living things, but he can also shrink himself at his chakra signature as well. So Kenpachi won't be able to see or detect him and will just get blitzed. He can also shrink some of Kenpachi's spiritual based attacks to minimize the damage. Overall, Isshiki has the better hacks and more abilities at his disposal, and he's also quite smart as well. Even though Isshiki wins, Kenpachi does still have a win condition. If Kenpachi lands a hit with his Shika, then Isshiki is basically gone, as it's a Durneg and he can cut anything with it, even space itself. Kenpachi for the most part can counter a lot of Isshiki's abilities like his rods and cubes, but he sadly loses due to just being out-hacked and outskilled. So if they had 10 fights, I think Isshiki would win at least 8 of them. And the 2 times he does lose would just be due to Kenpachi's Shika. Before you click off, as promised, here's the bonus matchup between Prime Isshiki and light novel Kenpachi. Kenpachi in the light novel scales way higher than in the anime. He one-shot Ikomiki Domoe, who had a fragment of the Soul King's power, which would put him at least galaxy level since we can't quantify the amount of Soul King's power that Ikomiki Domoe had. When talking about Isshiki's prime, we don't really know how strong he really was, but since we're using light novel Kenpachi, we can use the Boruto light novels as well. Isshiki would scale above characters like Momoshiki, who had created a parallel universe to the Naruto universe, and this would put Isshiki's AP at universal. And this isn't too crazy considering that Momoshiki casually eats stars and absorbs their energy. So between Isshiki and Kenpachi in their strongest forms, Isshiki would win due to outscaling. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If I missed anything, please let me know down below in the comments. Make sure to subscribe, and until next time, peace.